Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. The province of Alberta has announced its intention to stick to its current fuel tax formula, even as the federal government, led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, declared measures to cut gas tax nationwide to alleviate high prices at the pump. Alberta Finance Minister Nate Horner stated that the province supports Ottawa's move, but will maintain its existing tax, at least until July, attributing the decision to the inherent volatility of oil prices. He also noted that Alberta does not have a provincial sales tax and that the federal GST is still applied to fuel, suggesting further federal action is possible. The province's current relief program suspends the 13-cent per liter tax when North American West Texas Intermediate (WTI) crude oil averages 90 baht per barrel or above. Alberta NDP leader Naheed Nenshi criticized the UCP government, accusing them of hoarding windfall royalty revenues and failing to be agile in response to rapidly rising gas prices. Premier Danielle Smith countered by highlighting the province's personal income tax cut, which she said saves many two-income households significantly more than a gas tax reduction. The federal excise tax break, starting Monday, is expected to save Canadians 10 cents per liter on gasoline until Labor Day, costing the federal government an estimated $2.4 billion. The Canadian Press. Ottawa. According to the Canadian Press, Prime Minister Mark Carney has declared that plans to expand the port of Churchill as a vital trade corridor through northern Manitoba are a top priority. This statement was made before his meeting with Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew, who is actively advocating for Churchill, located on Hudson Bay, to become a significant port for shipping goods to Europe and other international markets. The federal government has recognized this initiative as a transformative project, though it necessitates substantial improvements to rail, port, and other essential infrastructure. Studies are currently underway to assess private sector interest and the feasibility of using icebreakers to extend the port's operational shipping season. Following their meeting in Ottawa, Premier Kinew announced that both leaders have agreed to identify immediate opportunities to increase the shipment of critical minerals from the port. Furthermore, Manitoba has joined other provinces in a federal-provincial agreement to establish a one-window regulatory process aimed at streamlining approvals for major projects. Prime Minister Carney emphasized that these joint efforts are designed to reduce bureaucracy, accelerate project approvals for new trade and energy corridors, foster economic growth, and create employment opportunities across Canada. Premier Kinew underscored the strategic importance of a northern Manitoba trade corridor, suggesting it could include a pipeline for Western Canadian energy, especially given rising energy costs and global supply chain disruptions caused by the war in Iran. He added that investments in Churchill would bolster Arctic sovereignty and strengthen economic ties with Nunavut. CTV News reports on the reactions of Toronto drivers following the announcement that the federal government will temporarily suspend the federal fuel excise tax on both gas and diesel. This significant policy change is scheduled to take effect starting next week. The suspension is expected to influence fuel prices across the country, and residents in Toronto are sharing their perspectives on how this measure might affect their daily commutes and household budgets. The report captures public sentiment regarding the government's intervention to alleviate the burden of high fuel costs. According to NBC News, new data suggests that artificial intelligence is reshaping the American job market primarily by hindering the creation of new positions, rather than directly eliminating existing ones. Economists are growing more convinced of this trend. A recent academic paper highlighted this by estimating that AI technology has already prevented approximately 500,000 new coder jobs from being created. This shifts the perception of AI's impact from job destruction to a more subtle, yet significant effect on the growth of future employment opportunities across various sectors. According to CBS News, Chevron executive Andy Walz advised Americans to drive less and conserve energy in response to soaring gas prices. Walz, Chevron's president of downstream, midstream, and chemicals, highlighted that the ongoing war with Iran has significantly disrupted ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil and gas supply. This disruption has caused Brent crude prices to hover around $102 per barrel. He noted there's probably no silver bullet for long-term price relief as oil remains expensive worldwide. While the U.S. benefits from local production, buffering prices compared to other regions, Walz warned of potential global supply chain issues if the crisis persists, particularly impacting Asian countries heavily reliant on Middle East crude. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.